up to your potential today.
Exactly.
Uh, and I've been talking about you all week. So
You
I'm so
have?
excited. Yes, I
How did I
have.
get so lucky?
You were born and you asked for it, and you're willing to receive it, I think. Um,
Yes, I am. Thank you.
I just want to give a quick plug to your work and who you are. I find myself bringing a lot of the access consciousness tools that you've given us here, and a lot of the questions and possibility and creativity. Like, I really feel unleashed with possibility and creativity newly in my life, and I didn't have to pay for it. I just got to be with awesome humans and take some time to take care of myself, and I feel like I've when we're open to receiving the gifts that we ask for, that they're all around us.
Yes,
And so,
exactly.
Daniel, I've been carrying you with me all week. And so I just want to say I'm really grateful for you. And I'm feeling especially grateful for every person who, like Jason, who's really showed up each week to come as a source of medicine. And each one of you being here is such a great contribution to the universe as a whole, not just to our lives and to each other, but you're literally helping raise the consciousness just by being just watching, being part of the
Thank you,
algorithm,
Ben.
being part of the conversation.
I really want to also receive that. I want to just take a moment to receive that. And I really, really appreciate the acknowledgement and the love. Of course, always, always, I feel your love.
Mm.
And sometimes it reminds me how often we perceive someone's love, but we don't actually confirm it or we share it, you know? So
Mm.
I really, really, I thank you. I thank you for that kindness. And I agree with you 1,000%. You guys who continually show up every week, Jason and Jack, and so many others that we have the opportunity and the great fortune to learn from and grow together. Like that's really, really, really the experience, you know.
Mm.
And I love that we're talking about that with self sabotage today because how often are we actually choosing to sabotage ourselves because we perceive that we need to put down ourself in order to make others great.
Mm.
And you, Ben, are very, very aware, and you're really, really great at creating um, this space to say, hey, you know what? I can recognize the greatness in somebody else. I can acknowledge the greatness in somebody else without having to put myself down, without having to sabotage myself. But that's a
Mm.
process, right? It's something
Oh
I
my
think,
gosh, yeah.
especially when we get around people that were like, oh my God, this person is so amazing. We oh my God, they're so amazing, they're so amazing. And then we all of a sudden we find ourselves in this place of, okay, they're so much better than I am. They're
Mm.
so much better than I am. That is so much better than I am. And then we little by little put ourselves down. So what would it take for us to allow ourselves to be inspired by everyone? Right? Just
Yeah.
to be inspired by everyone, to
Yeah.
not put anybody above you or below you, but just to say, wow, I'm inspired by you. And that's what I want to share with you, Ben.
Mm.
I'm inspired by you.
Thank
So,
you.
and
Thank
all
you
of
so
you. I'm
much.
inspired by all of you. Uh,
Yeah, I really am. Every time I see a familiar face here, and all of you beautiful people that are following us, like, it really, we notice, we see you. And Becky, I
yeah.
want to give a special shout out to you. We see you. Hello to our
Hi,
amazing producer
Becky.
Becky.
We adore
She's really
you.
behind the scenes here on Wake Up Wednesdays page, which we have now, making sure everything's running smoothly, that we don't miss anyone. So if you ever want to talk to us about something that we've mentioned on our show, a topic that you have on your mind that's burning, or someplace you just feel stuck, or we're just feeling great and just want to share it, our Wake Up Wednesday Facebook page is a really great place to do that. And our
Yeah.
podcast, if you don't know about it, is everywhere you stream, and it's doing great. And we would love for you to be a part of it because it helps us raise the vibration together. It's one way that you can give
Absolutely.
back and help this message reach even more. So thank you
And
so much
also,
for,
it's a great space for us to know where you guys are at, right?
yeah.
And to know where what your vibration is or what it is that we're working together. Remember, just as I indicated, Ben and I are also on the same journey as that you are, period.
Yeah.
So we're learning from you, we're learning from each other, and we're growing. So
Yeah.
how does it get any better? How is everything going, Ben, in this amazing retreat that you've created, that you're building? this magical thing that you're doing?
That's a great question. So for those of you who
Uh-huh.
don't know what he's talking about, I'm putting the website here. It's called Balanced Guitar. And
Okay, cool.
Balanced Guitar was, you know, I'm going to also mention your thing here, but I'm really going to talk about mine too. So Daniel's teaching an incredible workshop called Surfing the Waves of Uncertainty. And I literally couldn't be part of it because I was teaching surfing here in San Diego almost at
It's
that
awesome.
exact time. And it's really taught me just that idea is beautiful, and that has been my
Uh-huh.
life. The last year has been creating the life of my dreams. My wife and I getting land in Costa Rica after having led this retreat for the eighth time there, and the most healing
Yeah.
land we could find. Just trying to bring healing and vibration to everyone, and realizing we really need it ourselves. So we've learned to give ourselves the time after leading to root, to rise, to heal, to listen, and out of that space, we decided to make a baby, and then we had a miscarriage, and then we had more deaths in the family and friends, and we've had so many different trials and tribulations. But one of the beautiful things we decided to do is we also created our band just went on a Northeast tour. We played the biggest show of our life. I'm still coaching, still doing voiceover and acting auditions from here, and now I'm leading the retreat for the first time ever in Costa Rica, in San Diego. And but
Wow, you're
the,
amazing.
we're having echo. So Daniel, do you have an external mic plugged in somewhere?
I think the
I think it's from
here.
the it may be
Hold on
coming
one
from your
second.
phone. Does your phone
Hold
have
on
a
one
mic
second.
in? Okay.
Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay
Okay, we'll
tuned.
deal with it there. So I'm going to talk about it while you're doing that. So the idea of a balanced guitar, the reason we call it that is that a guitar resonates because it has a hole in it. It has space, it has a cavity. And you resonate, your voice resonates because it has space in here. That emptiness that we feel like is a void is the part of you that you like to destroy and eat on and feed on. That beautiful space is where music is made. And so many musicians who make music don't always realize that their bodies are connected to their instrument, that it's part of their instrument. Singers may know that, but what about the rest of their bodies from the neck down? And I was just talking with this lawyer who's here, and he has one of the most stressful jobs. We're talking about the amount of it's almost self-sabotage. In order to do your job, you're putting your body through a certain amount of stress, starting with the bar exam all the way to the end, that is not healthy or conducive for any human. You're taught to barrel through, work longer, harder, and it's all in the justice of something else. But how lawyers generally treat their bodies is they're not putting themselves first. They haven't been taught that. And I saw this great possibility here this week for self care for people who have none and are just taught to barrel through and work harder, or your life will be over, right?
Wow,
and
it's
and
amazing.
even new associates, and once you get even higher up, more is at stake in people's lives and legal systems, and it's something that doesn't go away. He has his phone that has an away message that said, "I will not be seeing nor answering your messages for a week," and I've watched him get just numerous messages every day.
Yeah.
He's brought his
Oh,
son.
it's amazing. It gives me anxiety just listening to
I
it.
know, and he's
Ah!
brought his son, he's brought his
Uh-huh.
wife. His son, they tried to come years ago, and his son broke his arm, and they came back, and they didn't give up because they knew they needed this. So his son, himself, and his wife are all receiving healing. They're in yoga every morning with me. So I've been glowing because I'm teaching yoga and meditation, but really I'm teaching people how to listen to their bodies, to their
Yeah.
hearts, to their guts, and to their minds, no matter how old or how young. That if we actually stop even for a few seconds to listen, that's just as powerful as going to the gym, or working harder, or getting more things done at work, because you can actually receive your body's own intuitive wisdom and listen to that beautiful music and your vibration
Uh-huh.
and where you
Exactly.
vibrate. But if you don't listen, you're taking feedback from external, but you don't know who it belongs to. Voice resonates at a specific frequency, scientifically proven, biologically.
Yep.
No other human or any being in the universe resonates that way, and it's designed to heal you. better than anything else on the planet. So we're out there looking for all these answers, and we're here to tell you that you are your own greatest healer. And so as I've continued
Right.
to create, we've lost 3 cooks to COVID this week. Cooks are the biggest part of it. We've had people drop out.
Oof.
We've had people had to
Right.
leave early. The kid is deathly allergic to nuts. He got fed a tree nut in a meal.
Wow.
He went into, like, we've been through it this week, and I just kept saying, normally I would just crumble, sabotage, destroy this, say, I don't know, declare a breakdown, meltdown, cry. And we decided to share it in the first yoga class, in the first meditation. Like, guys, we're in a breakdown. And one thing I've learned from my dear friend Daniel is what's right about this that we're not getting. How could
Bingo.
it turn out better than we ever imagined? And now we've cooked every meal together. We've all cooked our favorite meals for each other. We've learned each other's recipes. There's vegans and vegetarians here. So we're just learning about food, and we're touching
Incredible.
each other's food, and we are healing as a community. And we've even had, I mean, we've been through it with the neighbors, like just everything. And I just keep bringing love. And it just reminds me that, we had our day off today, and I said, so what are you guys going to do? And they said, well, can we do yoga? Because they finally realized it was the one thing that was giving them some structured time for self-care. So where in our lives, and I'm asking this for all of us, are we not just taking a few minutes? It can be as simple as that, to start to check in with ourselves and ask ourselves what we need. What do we really want? What could we really use today? And then start to make our self-care as serious as our job, as serious as our relationships. And self-care is not selfish. It's the greatest gift that you can give other people.
It's
So
necessary. Hmm.
I really want to give a plug to that, because I've been so clear. Last thing I want to say, not the last thing, another thing I want to say is 10 years ago, I was, and I shared this recently, I'm so present to it because I was here, I was in California, but I was famous and I was doing drugs because I had lots of money, and I didn't know how to handle the fame. I had PTSD. I was in school full time, and I was doing the Dell campaign, and I just didn't know how to handle it. And I was numbing out. And today I'm waking up leading like this amazing retreat. I get to be on this podcast with my best friend, and I get to create newly every day. And oh, and my mom broke her hip and went in the hospital for emergency surgery too,
Wow.
which brought up my dad dying last year while I was right here, and continuing to pull for the beauty. Like, I could list this laundry list of look at all the shit that happened to us this week, or
Sure.
look at what we've created. And I
So
want to
much to be
share that with
grateful
all of
for.
you, because it just took a few people giving some willingness to be here together
Yeah.
for us to receive these gifts. And so I wanted to share that story with you all, because this lawyer turns out to be an author and a songwriter, and wants to help me help more people, and it's going to connect me, and I'm going to connect him, and we've fallen in love with each other because we're giving each other a chance. And
And
where are we
it's
not giving
amazing.
people a chance in our lives? Where could we fall back in love with our lives, or with ourselves, or with our partners?
Yeah, and with our
Where
gifts
are
and
we?
talents. That's one
Yeah.
thing that I love that you do with your medicine, Ben, is your medicine is, allowing people to express themselves too. So
Mm,
often that aspect of ourself gets locked up and it gets locked in and we don't get to actually communicate it. I love what you said about when in music and you're other than singing, when you're connecting to your instrument, it's like it becomes this tool, and this tool for you to share your medicine or your message with the world.
mm,
And what all of that amazing, all of the amazing stuff that's coming out of there is like, wow, how can all of these stories continue to change and change and change and change and change the lives of everyone around us,
yeah.
including that young man who, went through what he went through. It's like
He's
those
teaching us lessons.
I
It's
can
unbelievable.
imagine. Yeah,
He gave the
exactly.
woman who fed him the nut. He gave her a hug. He like to forgive her. He was like,
Really?
she felt so bad. She was like, like, she felt like she poisoned this child. We had a huge meeting about, not having nuts here. And he was even able, like, he had the compassion and beauty to like give her a hug. It'd be like, I'm okay.
Oh my God, it's so
I
beautiful.
know.
Wow.
Isn't that
How
amazing?
special. It's incredible. It's really incredible. Wow, that's amazing. I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
Yeah.
That is only thing I can say is, wow, I wish I would have chosen that.
And we can, we keep leading these retreats. Like there's always something that comes up, but I know there's an opportunity to make music together. There's one guy who's a Broadway producer here. He's just taking meetings during the day, but just here being around us.
Right.
And he actually gifted us tickets to a Moises Kaufman play at the La Jolla Playhouse last night. I've never been, and it was called There Are Blueberries. And it was about this photo album that was found about 30, 40 years ago. And it is a SS Auschwitz soldier's photograph album of his best summer of his life as a soldier there, and the behind the
Wow.
scenes of the soldiers and the self care and the rewards they got for doing what they thought was greater work.
Oh
And
my gosh.
and also painting the picture of how simple and how bred these children were into this nationalism that some of them didn't even realize they were becoming Nazis, and they just thought they were like joining Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts and part of something for the first time in their lives and finding order. And it really woke something in me, of just how easily humans can destroy and create and be led and blindly. And, I realized I dropped something pretty heavy into the air there, but all in the service of to learn about the humans behind this and even the growth and the healing. And we found out one of our participants' mother was born in Auschwitz. And
Incredible.
so just had we not seen that play, we wouldn't have known that. And we got to hear her story. And she's half Ukrainian and talking about families and what they're going through now. And uh, yeah, Jason's sharing a story now about a little league game where the pitcher in an opposite team gave him a hug after a hit ball because the pitcher was feeling so sad. The hitter like went and hugged him after.
Aw.
Um,
It's
and
humanity at its finest,
yeah,
right?
and self sabotage for me was just to keep the music metaphor, it was just the needle on the record that was really familiar for me. It kept me numbing out and not having to be responsible for what was going on out there. And if I kept just kind of destroying things, or even if I didn't want to, it just became a really familiar pattern of blow it up again and start over. That I finally got through doing some of this work and practicing meditating and practicing having these conversations with you, that if we just lift the needle and place it on a different track, on the groove of a record, eventually a new song will play.
Yeah.
And eventually, and when you play that new song, it attracts and makes new music and brings new energy. So if there's any part of you that's so used to that self denial, that self destruction, that negative self talk, even if it's really unfamiliar, uncomfortable, could we just practice putting the needle on a new track today and thinking about something, maybe something that you're really proud of yourself for, or some part of you that you find really beautiful, but it hasn't felt appropriate to share. I would love to know, or anyone who's listening, a comment. You could comment here. One thing that you find is so beautiful about yourself that you'd like to nurture more of today or
You
in the
know,
week.
it reminds me then that if we look at, take for example, superstring theory, okay? Not to get all technical, but let's talk about it for a second. So
Yeah, no, let's do it.
superstring theory is that there are multiple realities that are happening simultaneously at the same time, right? Of your life, of this world, of everything. There's multiple different realities. And what is the one thing that changes tracks? It's choice.
Mm.
That's it. All it is it's a choice. The past doesn't exist, the future doesn't exist. All we have right now is here in the present. And so I think also it's very easy to find ourselves beating ourselves up for the choices that we've made in the past. for the
Hmm.
places that we have self-sabotaged, for the places that we weren't so kind, that we weren't so understanding, that we weren't so compassionate towards those who maybe have been compassionless to us. How did we give away our power to them?
Hmm.
Right. And so, what I would like to offer with that too is that, guys, today, right here, right now, is the opportunity. Right now, this moment is the opportunity to say, hey, what can I do to change this? What can I do to change this? What would be a lighter solution that would allow me to be more in harmony, more in flow, more in gratitude for myself
Hmm.
and for the world that I'm living in? Just a
Hmm.
choice. One simple choice can change the trajectory of our lives.
Let's ask that question again. I'm going to type
Mhm.
it in. I'd like you all to just, you don't have to answer it, but if something comes to mind, share it in the comments. So, what's one thing?
Right. What is one thing that you could change, that you could choose to change differently? Like, what is the choice that you could make? That's what I wanted to say. What is the choice that you could make right here, right now, today, that would actually change everything? Actually, Ben, I want to ask you a question. What, in your awareness, is the opposite of self sabotage?
Self love.
Great. So, would you, I'm speaking to the general you, including myself, would we be willing to actually choose self love today instead of self sabotage? And ask ourselves, how much more? I love that you said forgiveness, Jason. That was literally on the tip of my tongue.
Hmm.
How much more could we invite the energy of self love, of self forgiveness, of compassion into our lives and be the demonstrator, to be the demonstrator of that energy, to be refracted into every area of our life and the world? I imagine
Hmm.
that we all were that prism. When you look through a prism and it has all those different colors, like what if we were that prism? What if we were that space that everybody goes, wow, I had no idea all these colors existed from this little teeny tiny rock with all of these different grooves in it, right?
Hmm.
You, we,
Yeah, I
we're
love
the,
that.
we're the prism.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
Well, I'm so
Ah,
I'm so inspired by what you're doing there. I'm so inspired by balanced guitar. Now, the
thank you.
next retreat is the one that's in Costa Rica in January. Is that
Uh huh.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be in
awesome.
January. And
So
so
can
if
I
there's
ask, wait,
anyone,
wait, can I ask some technical questions here?
absolutely.
Do you have to be a surfer? Do you have to know how to
No,
surf? Do you have
no,
to be a musician?
no.
Okay. All right. Just asking.
So
Just asking
consider,
for a friend, as they say.
thank you. Thank you. You don't have to be a surfer or a friend. We do, there's so guitar yoga and surfing is offered, but it's guitar on with a master level teacher who, if you've never even touched a guitar, you could leave playing one of your favorite songs by the end of a week.
That's
And
so cool.
he's
I've always
such
wanted
a
to do that.
beautiful healing teacher. He lived in a yoga ashram. He's lived in New York City. He's grew up in Brazil. He's lived in Tennessee. He's traveled the world. He speaks Spanish, Portuguese, and English. He's like a big brother to me. His name's Richard Miller. He's an outstanding world-renowned guitarist, and his love and gift of teaching is like no other. Whether you even like music, I mean, people usually hang out just to listen to him teach because it's just so wonderful. And then I lead yoga and meditation every morning, and I'll say I guess I'm an internationally known meditation teacher now because I do teach around the world, and I teach corporate settings, and I teach kids and adults and families, and this is and then we have the surfing, which is just an opportunity to get to find balance in water. It's all about balance. So, balance in your voice or music. If you don't play music, you can drum along. We actually start classes with rhythms and we learn everything in our body before we even touch a guitar. So, dancers join us, singers join us. Um, and so everyone's musical, right? So we get to find our musical, and then in the ocean, however we can support you. So anyone who's ever wanted to learn to surf leaves surfing. We've had a 16-year-old who's traumatized with the water, who we've created the safe conditions for her to experience surfing. We had a 70-year-old who couldn't even stand up. We literally carried him into the ocean and stood him onto the surfboard himself and helped him feel like riding in. So we're really a stand for people
So cool.
experiencing. And then we come together and we heal together. And in Costa Rica, we experience the land and the monkeys and donate to the wildlife refuge and live off the land. And it's a really, really magical space. And so is Southern California. It's not the same, though. It's not the same, but we're having a great, great time here. And I really would like to, I see us doing, it's really clear, Daniel, like a retreat it's almost like well, there's this beautiful place in Nosara, Costa Rica, and there's a yoga studio on top of a mountain that looks over the entire plain. And I just saw us talking about surfing the waves of uncertainty, literally looking over the ocean and seeing surfers
I
and
love it.
having an in-person retreat where all of you from all over the world who listen and are part of our community can come gather, and we can really heal and magnify and elevate together. And maybe we build it around a full moon or something.
Yeah, that would be amazing. That would be a really,
So
really amazing
I'm putting that
opportunity.
into the universe today. And
I'll put that out there too today.
yes.
Totally. Tomorrow's a very powerful full moon, by the way, one of the most powerful of the year. So,
Are you doing a full moon activation?
yes, we will.
Will you tell us about it before we go?
I will. I will tell you about it.
Please do.
So the one thing that I wanted to, just because you mentioned it, and I think that you mentioned it, talking about the energy of the full moon, it's so beautiful what we're talking about too, because this interesting combination of energies that we have with the sun in Leo and the moon in Aquarius is the sun in Leo is the drive that we have, right? I want to do this. I want to be that. That's how I want to project myself to the world. And the Aquarius is the weirdo. Okay, the Aquarius energy is the weirdo. The Aquarius energy is the energy that says, hey, you know what? I want to do this, and I want to do it crazy like this. And so what we're doing here, Ben, is, we're activating kind of that energy, right? It wasn't too long ago that what we were talking about today would have been shunned, put under the carpet, and said, wow, this is really, 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 really weird stuff, guys. I can't believe we're talking about this. People don't actually talk about these kinds of things. Those things are actually left for therapists and psychologists, and we don't do that, right? And so we are creating a ripple effect of change in the world that empowers people to be so connected to themselves that each one of us have a new definition of what it means to be weird, and we can embrace it. And we can be as weird as we fucking want to be, and also empower and change people's lives. And so that's actually in honor of that full moon energy. Tomorrow night, I am being joined by my very, very, very dear friend and incredible astrologer here, Mariche. We're going to do something that involves a little bit of Kundalini yoga. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I have no idea what she's bringing to the table. However, she's amazing, and it's going to be awesome. And
what time will that be?
So we're going to start at 8:15 p.m. and that's Central Standard Time. So that's 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the reason that we're choosing that time is because the actual full moon comes at 8:28 Central Standard Time, 9:38 Eastern Standard Time. And that moment is so powerful. The one thing that I do want to say too is that this is the cosmic Valentine's Day. Okay.
Oh, wow.
It is where the moon and the sun have an equal amount of light. It's the only moon. It's the only full moon in the entire year that the sun and the moon have an equal amount of light. And so it's said to be the night where you actually call in and draw upon soulmate energy. So it's a great night to conceive. If you're already in a relationship and you're looking to create a family or expand your family, it's a great night to conceive. It's a great night to go on a date. It's a great night to create more with your partner that will create more in the world. So coming to meditate is a great way to actually do it. Come, meditate, and then go and make love. How does it get any better?
Sounds great. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, like what time? Let's schedule that in. You might want to invite your partner.
That's right.
Just saying that might help with the opportunity. Where do we join?
You guys can go to you can go to my, Becky will actually put it up after this call. We'll put it up on the link tree in my Instagram account, okay, at The Provocative Intuitive. I will put it in the link tree, a link for you to join. Okay.
Great. And then maybe we'll also throw up a link on our Wake Up Wednesdays page here too.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea.
And thank you all so much for asking all these wonderful questions. We've put this
Yeah.
all in the comments, and you can watch more on our Wake Up Wednesdays Facebook page. Abby, thank you so much for this. How does it get any better? That's right. I wonder. Let's find out. So share
Let's
with us.
find
Let us know
out.
what you've discovered, what's working for you, what you're loving here, and tag a friend who you'd love to bring into this community with us. Daniel, thank you so much for your
Thank you, my
beautiful
friend.
light and love.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm really, really excited to see what magic is created in the world. And
too.
The reverberated effects from all this incredible magic that you're creating.
Oh, thank you. Oh, and we'll probably most likely have a performance Friday night, and we'll stream it live. So I'll keep you all posted about that, so we can share our music with all of you. And I'm even
Please
going to be
do.
teaching a yoga class live, yoga and meditation tomorrow morning too. So we'll keep you posted on that.
Amazing. Amazing.
So thank you all so much. Really,
Thanks,
you are a
guys.
part of this and why we do it. And have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Have an
See
amazing
you
day, guys.
next week.
Ben, thank you so much. I love you so much. So grateful for you and for everyone. Thank you, guys.
Love you too. Over and out.